Anyway, welcome to another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the second album by the new metalcore, not new, but it's still a new band, AVRALIZE with Liminal. So I have been following quite a few of the singles. They have dropped about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 10 songs before the album came out, and we do have 14 tracks. There are 4 others, but they're interludes, and I'll go into them in a sec. But AVRALIZE have definitely tried to experiment quite differently from their debut. I talked about their debut album last year, Freaks. I honestly really enjoyed it. I think it was quite a strong debut, had a lot of fun ideas. The jazz breakdown on canvas is probably the most iconic thing in the band's discography, in my opinion. But they kind of want to bring in that silly, fun feel to this album. It kind of plays in a similar case to vianova, when they have a lot of silly elements to the overall metalcore sound. So some of it does play into more poppy or trancecore sort of sound, and I don't think it's a too bad idea. The first one was a bit more electronic with a cyber metal feel. This one's going for a more, I guess, just kind of a party vibe, and I quite enjoy it to an extent, but I don't think you get the full proper experience of a good AVRALIZE album as much as their debut offered. I mean, I will say I kind of prefer them to experiment like this. Some of their best stuff is on this record still, but inconsistency, I just find that they kind of run the well dry here. At this point, you kind of get the whole idea of the silliness, and it's only up to just random intervals or just weird little bits and pieces just to kind of make a song feel distinctive. Some songs do play with cool elements, some of them are heavier than others, which does give it a bit of a better feel. It makes me remind me that it is still a metalcore band and not one that's kind of dabbling too far away from it to kind of borderline have the title, because trust me, I checked r/metalcore and there was a lot of discourse about if this band even fits the thing. The gatekeeping on that subreddit is horrendous, and some of the most active people on there really need to go outside and touch grass, because it's insane how much kind of spy and toxicity there is to just so many new bands, so many new ideas. You need bands to be reinventing sounds, trying new ideas. Why do you want every band to do the same thing as another band? It's just going to be boring. The whole point of this bands doing all sort of different things is so you get the distinctive factor, so you're not just listening to the same regurgitated crap over and over again. But people don't really want that, and people want AVRALIZE to be kind of either doing what their debut offered or just be heavy and just like every other metalcore band, which is a problem that a lot of metalcore fans are complaining about. When they're releasing the same stuff, you can't win. You just can't win with them. But this album I do think is a bit of a downgrade when it comes to just overall the aesthetic. I remember some of the singles, they were all fun. I honestly had a good time with them, but I don't think all of them quite bring the best of their ability. Some of them have got some good ideas. Like, I didn't really like Medicine when I first listened to it, but that one's growing on me. I kind of like the fun little instrumental to it, and I think it's interesting. Tracks like Helium is definitely a highlight to me. I like the heavier aspect. It's got a really good punchy chorus to it, and I quite enjoy the ideas they bring to it. You get tracks like Bite My Tongue, which I don't think this one's too memorable outside of the kind of elevator music outro, which, I mean, is cool, but I mean, we already had Elevator Operator by Electric Cool Boy, so I think if I'm going to go for one song that's about elevators, I'd go for the Elevator Operator one. It's kind of a bit of a disappointment we had barely any new material outside the interludes, which kind of feel like they're just there to pad the album out and don't offer anything. They don't really go into the next song very well. They don't really hype it up. It just kind of feels like you have a song interlude, which was annoying with the first few tracks, because you had Medicine and then you just had to wait until you get to Wanderlust. Then you had to wait to get to Close to You. Luckily you did have the new song Cyanide after that, which I think this one's good. Then you had an interlude. It just kind of gets a bit jarring at this point, and I don't think they're really a good addition. I mean, the album's longer than Freaks was anyway. This album has 10 songs, Freaks had 8, but Freaks sat around 34 minutes, and with the interludes it just adds to 38, so it's almost like that if they didn't have it, it'd still be longer anyway, so it didn't make much a difference. But luckily the second half, I think, is where you got some of the cool material is kept. Upside Down was always a fun single when that came out, it's catchy. Like a Boomerang is probably my favourite of the non-album singles, and Fading Fast is an interesting way to end the album off. So I definitely do appreciate what they're doing. It's just not really hitting the same vibes as Freaks, to be honest, and I think Freaks had the higher highs. Liminal still has good ideas, but while they might even have some songs that could easily rival Freaks, honestly I will say that both albums do have their best songs for sure, but Freaks is more consistent at it. So I kind of feel that's all I have to say. I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5. Not huge on it, I wish I was, but I kind of find like it's one of his albums where you just have it on in the background if you just want to have a good time. It's nothing intricate, it's nothing crazy. It's just kind of a standard listen. I think I kind of prefer how Vianova's done it, to be fair, but Liminal's not too bad. It's still a decent album, so that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next video.